Or I could be Spider-Man.
Okay, make that pitch right now to Tom Holland. You're out, you're in.
Tom Holland did a great job, though. so I don't know. Maybe they do need to make a new one for me.
There's an actor or actress, or I don't even know how this person identifies at this moment in time, that could come in and save the MCU. And that person is Last of Us star Bella Ramsey.
In The Last of Us Part 2, who the majority of the fans were like, that's not Ellie.
I'm sorry. That was acting. That's what that was.
Bella Ramsey says that they could be Spider-Man.
I don't really care what happens with this movie. I really hope her career is pretty much over. I'd be thrilled to see that. I can't imagine. I mean, Christian, you tell me.
Marvel is collapsing, and no one expected the chaos to spiral this far. For years, the MCU stood as the crown jewel of Hollywood, a billion-dollar empire where every release became a cultural event. But now, the cracks are wide open. Flops pile up, fans lose faith, and Disney's desperate scramble for relevance makes the once invincible franchise look fragile. And just when it seemed the storm couldn't get any worse, Bella Ramsey, yes, the breakout star of The Last of Us, casually threw gasoline onto the fire. On a red carpet with cameras flashing, she smirked and dropped the line that would ignite a global frenzy. Or I could be Spider-Man. What started as a passing remark became the spark for an all-out war. Avengers actors slammed her, furious that she dared to touch Marvel's most sacred legacy. Headlines screamed betrayal, interviews turned bitter, and the internet lit up with memes. But Bella Ramsey wasn't about to back down. She snapped back with 3 words that shook Hollywood to its core. Stop this shit! This wasn't just a joke anymore. It wasn't even about casting rumors. It had become a cultural battle. Bella Ramsey versus the Avengers themselves, and the fate of Marvel's future was suddenly hanging in the balance.
From what I understand, she wants to play Spider-Man. She's not quite Spider-Man.
The Empire isn't what it used to be. Once upon a time, Marvel was unstoppable. A studio that could take unknown characters and turn them into global icons. Fans camped outside theaters, critics sang praises, and Disney cashed in on billion-dollar blockbusters without breaking a sweat. But fast forward to today, and the magic is gone. Eternals was mocked. Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania stumbled hard. The Marvels? A complete embarrassment, with box office numbers that left executives in shock. Even Marvel's streaming series, once hyped as bold storytelling experiments, have crashed and burned. She-Hulk became a meme, and Secret Invasion was called a waste of time. Behind closed doors, Disney's panic is real. Leaks whisper about Avengers, Doomsday, a desperate attempt to bring every hero back for one last money-making spectacle. But instead of inspiring hope, it reeks of fear. A franchise that once invented the future is now recycling its past. And that's the exact fragile stage where Bella Ramsey walked in. When she tossed out her Spider-Man line, it wasn't just a joke. It was a spark in a room drenched with gasoline. And what came next proved just how fragile Marvel had become. At first,
there's an actor or actress, or I don't even know how this person identifies at this moment in time, that could come in and save the MCU. And that person is Last of Us star Bella Ramsey. But this is the headline that went around yesterday that a lot of people are having fun with. Bella Ramsey says they could be the next Spider-Man. They also say Andrew Garfield's version is incredible and that they loved it.
At first, people laughed. A cheeky remark, a few memes, some harmless fun. But not everyone was amused. Within hours, murmurs spread across the Marvel alumni, Avengers actors who had carried the MCU on their backs for over a decade. Some of them reportedly rolled their eyes. Others mocked Bella's boldness in private. But a few went public, slamming her for daring to step into territory they felt was sacred. One comment made headlines instantly. Spider-Man isn't a costume for anyone to try on. It's a legacy. Suddenly, Bella Ramsey wasn't just joking around. She was being accused of disrespect. The actors who had built Marvel into a global empire weren't holding back. They treated her remark as arrogance, as if she was mocking everything they had sacrificed for the MCU. The internet devoured it. Bella versus the Avengers? That headline was too juicy to ignore. And while fans debated, Bella herself decided she wouldn't stay silent.
Have you changed up your impression at all, or is it pretty much the same?
Well, the noise is the same. I've not got any more noises in my back pocket. The new infected are pretty terrifying. They're so smart, and they haven't really got a noise. That's the whole point of them. They're silent and terrifying.
Ooh, give us a little silent and terrifying.
Actually, I
For Bella Ramsey, this wasn't just about a joke anymore. This was personal. After days of watching memes explode and Avengers veterans take shots at her, she finally snapped. And she didn't whisper. She roared. "Stop this shut!" she shouted back, her words cutting through the noise like a blade. She accused Marvel veterans of gatekeeping, of refusing to let new talent even imagine themselves in iconic roles. "I'm not disrespecting Spider-Man," she said. "I'm disrespecting the idea that only a chosen few can decide who belongs." Her fiery response went viral instantly. Fans clipped it, memes blasted it across TikTok, and suddenly the story shifted. Bella wasn't just the actor who made a joke. She was now the fighter standing up to Marvel's old guard. But her boldness came with a price. The backlash only grew louder, and one actor caught directly in the crossfire was the man who wears the Spider-Man suit himself, Tom Holland. For Tom Holland, Spider-Man isn't just a role, it's his life. For nearly a decade, he has been Peter Parker, carrying the weight of Marvel's most beloved character through triumph and chaos alike. To millions, he is Spider-Man. So when Bella Ramsey casually joked about stepping into his suit and then doubled down with her explosive clapback, Holland felt attacked. Sources claimed he told friends that Bella wasn't just trolling, she was targeting him directly. "She doesn't want to save Marvel," he allegedly said. "She wants to tear it all down, including me." Holland's frustration spilled into interviews. He made subtle digs, warning that Marvel was playing a dangerous game by letting jokes spiral into headlines. And yet, Bella refused to back down. She fired back that she wasn't after him, but after the system that let Marvel sink into desperation. Fans couldn't look away. Was this really about Spider-Man? Or was it a war for the very soul of Marvel? If Hollywood wasn't chaotic enough, social media turned the fire into an inferno. Memes of Bella in Spider-Man's suit flooded TikTok and Twitter. Fan art painted her swinging through New York. Others mocked Holland, joking that his days as Peter Parker were numbered. Then came the darker side. Potato Spider-Man started trending, a cruel nickname mocking Bella's unconventional looks. The internet was divided, one side cheering her defiance, the other side tearing her down. And in the middle of it all, Holland's legacy as Spider-Man was reduced to jokes and hashtags. But what cut deepest wasn't the memes. It was the whispers from Hollywood insiders. Behind the scenes, some began suggesting maybe Disney wasn't opposed to the chaos. Maybe, Bella's firestorm was exactly the distraction the MCU needed. Hollywood loves a fight, and Bella Ramsey versus Marvel veterans? That was a storyline too juicy to ignore. Within days, media outlets spun the clash into a bigger narrative, a generational war. Bella became a symbol of disruption, young, bold, unafraid to push boundaries. Avengers actors were painted as the old guard, protective, bitter, unwilling to let go of the spotlight. And Disney? They sat back and watched as the headlines piled up. Holland accused the studio of using Bella to stir chaos, not creativity. "This isn't about stories anymore," he warned. "It's about headlines." He saw it as proof that Marvel wasn't innovating. It was exploiting division just to stay relevant. And the scariest part? He might have been right, because if Marvel was willing to gamble Spider-Man's legacy for viral attention, what else were they willing to risk? The internet wasn't just entertained, it was torn apart. Two camps emerged, each louder and angrier than the other. On one side were the supporters. They cheered Bella Ramsey's boldness, framing her as the fearless disruptor Marvel desperately needed. To them, the MCU had become stale, predictable, and corporate. Bella's chaos, her defiance, her "stop this shut" rally cry. It was fresh, it was rebellious, and it was exactly what Marvel needed to burn down its old system and rebuild from the ashes. But standing in fierce opposition were the protectors. These were the die-hard fans who grew up with Spider-Man as a sacred legacy. To them, Peter Parker wasn't just a costume or a meme. He was an untouchable cultural icon. Tom Holland had embodied that legacy with passion, humor, and heart. Bella stepping in felt like erasure, like spitting on decades of tradition. The divide escalated fast. Hashtags trended. Online petitions launched. One demanded Marvel protect Spider-Man's history, gathering 50,000 signatures in days. Another demanded Bella be given a shot, arguing that Marvel needed to embrace change or die trying. The MCU wasn't just fighting to save its box office, it was fighting to survive a culture war tearing its own fanbase apart. And in the middle of it all stood Bella Ramsey, refusing to step back. Behind the noise, a darker reality loomed. Marvel wasn't just struggling creatively, it was drowning in desperation. Every flop pushed Disney executives closer to panic mode. Every bad headline cut deeper into the illusion that the MCU was untouchable. That's why Bella's chaos mattered, because to many, her feud with Avengers actors wasn't just about Spider-Man. It was a mirror reflecting everything wrong with Marvel today. A studio once celebrated for innovation now looked like a company clinging to headlines just to stay relevant. Tom Holland himself put it bluntly, "They're gambling with Spider-Man because they have nothing left." His words echoed across fan forums, fueling a belief that Marvel was no longer about stories or heroes. It was about survival. Bella Ramsey's fiery presence wasn't an accident. It was the symptom of a desperate studio willing to ride controversy instead of fixing its soul. And that raised a terrifying question. If Spider-Man was on the table, what legacy wasn't? At first glance, the idea seemed laughable. Spider-Man has always been witty, funny, lighthearted in the face of darkness. Bella Ramsey, on the other hand, is known for raw intensity, for roles drenched in trauma, resilience, and grit. How could those worlds collide? But the deeper fans looked, the less absurd it seemed. Bella had already proven she could carry a franchise with The Last of Us. She'd shown emotional depth, fearless range, and the ability to turn skepticism into respect. Some argued that maybe Spider-Man didn't need another wisecracking Peter Parker. Maybe the MCU needed a darker reinvention, one that mirrored Marvel's current chaos. Holland, however, was horrified by the thought. Spider-Man is supposed to be hope, he warned. Bella doesn't want to honor that. She wants to rewrite it. That claim hit like a thunderbolt. Was Bella a visionary ready to shake Marvel awake? Or was she, as Holland suggested, a saboteur set on tearing everything down? What began as jokes quickly turned into something much bigger. The memes, the edits, the TikToks, they stopped being entertainment and became activism. Supporters used them as propaganda, turning Bella into a symbol of rebellion. "Stop this shht" became not just a catchphrase, but a slogan splashed across fan art, banners, and profile pictures. Entire fan campaigns emerged, demanding Bella be given a shot as Spider-Man. Critics, on the other hand, weaponized the memes to humiliate Marvel. They plastered Bella's face on Spider-Man posters with captions like, "The MCU is finished," and "Disney's last gasp." To them, Bella wasn't the problem. She was proof of Marvel's collapse. And Tom Holland? He watched in despair as the internet wrestled control of his legacy out of his hands. "I built Spider-Man for nearly a decade," he said, "and now it feels like I could lose it all to a joke." Marvel stayed silent, and in that silence, the internet rewrote the story, whether the studio liked it or not. The Bella Ramsey saga wasn't really about her anymore. It was about what Marvel had become. A studio that once set the standard for cinematic storytelling now looked like a circus. Instead of legends like Infinity War or Endgame, it was chasing shock value and viral chaos. Instead of bold creativity, it was gambling on controversy. Holland laid it out bluntly. Marvel's turned into a circus, and Bella's the headline act. Fans who once believed in Marvel's magic now questioned whether the studio had lost control of its crown jewel forever. Bella, meanwhile, leaned into her role as the disruptor. She wasn't apologizing. She wasn't backing down. She had become the face of Marvel's chaos, whether she intended it or not. And the tragic truth? The more Marvel floundered, the stronger Bella's firestorm became. What began as a throwaway red carpet quip spiraled into a cultural earthquake. Bella Ramsey's "or I could be Spider-Man" joke unleashed a feud with Avengers actors, split the fan base, and exposed Marvel's growing desperation. Her fiery "stop this shut" clapback turned her into both a hero and a villain. To supporters, she was fearless. To protectors, she was reckless. And to Marvel, she was a storm they couldn't control. Tom Holland framed it as sabotage. Avengers veterans framed it as disrespect. But fans saw something deeper: the collapse of Marvel's authority over its own story. A single meme, a single quote, a single spark had shown how fragile the empire really was. So can Bella Ramsey actually destroy Marvel, Disney, and Tom Holland's career all at once? Maybe not alone. But with Marvel already collapsing under its own weight, her defiance might be the final push. And the most chilling part? The next headline won't be about saving the MCU. It'll be about whether the MCU can even survive itself